Hey, what's going on, man? It's Stokely from Sauce on the Ladle. You know, y'all heard about Wendy Williams. You know who Wendy Williams is? Wendy Williams is basically a host, an interviewer. I don't know if you could call her a journalist, a talk show host. Yeah, talk show host. So, you know, she was big in hip-hop music in the early 90s. And to the point where she, you know, she was on Hot 97 for many years until she had some issue with, strangely enough, Puff Daddy, which ultimately resulted in her getting fired from Hot 97. That's strange, right? Everything converges almost. So she went on to, I guess, greener pastures for a little bit, doing something else. I don't remember what it was. Then eventually she got her Wendy Williams show. And that was on television. And then maybe in the last, little bit before the pandemic, she had some neurological issues. They said she was diagnosed with Graves' disease. And then later on, now she's been diagnosed with alcohol-induced dementia. Now, I don't know, you know, like she's still alive and she's fine. Well, she's not totally fine, but I gotta say that she carved a path for her own self, made a name for herself. I mean, she worked hard, and what she did, even though what she did was gossip and stuff like that, people loved it. You know what I mean? People really enjoyed it, and she provided good feelings to a lot of people. And, you know, strangely enough, even though celebrities, sometimes they don't like people revealing their innermost, their personal life, which one time we didn't really talk about their personal life too much, but even though celebrities, you know, don't like people talking about their personal life, they still benefit from it somewhat in the fact that their name gets circulated and their name gets mentioned, as long as it's not something bad, like regarding criminal activity or harming anybody. If it's relationship issues, then, you know, that's mostly what she talks about, and that doesn't really necessarily affect their career in most cases. You know, when Brad Pitt, you know, and Angelina Jolie going through whatever they're going through, with all the custody and stuff and all of that didn't really stop him from doing films. That didn't stop her from getting Maleficent. The reason why their roles are diminishing maybe right now is just because of their age, unfortunately. That is age discrimination, but it's not because of their relationship problems. Their relationship problems didn't affect their business career of film. That keeps their name buzzing. That's why sometimes they get into these relationships in order to promote their brand. So Wendy Williams, I'm not saying that everything she did was right. I'm not saying that even most of what she did was right. That's not what I'm talking about. What I really want to talk about is the alcohol-induced dementia. So alcohol is a dangerous thing. I'm always talking about alcohol. And, you know, really, I almost have no dog in the fight because I don't have an affinity for alcohol. I never liked consuming alcohol. I don't enjoy alcohol. And one of the major factors is that I was too cheap to ever start using alcohol. Because most times people would drink socially. I mean, my group of friends, we didn't drink recreationally. We didn't drink in private or at home or any kind of way like that. We would only drink if we go to a party and we want to have something to put in our hand. You know, and that was later on when we stopped dancing. When we were dancing, we didn't need anything in our hand. Now, you know, moving on to being more grown up and trying to seem more stoic or whatever. You're trying to seem more cute. Now you just want to put a drink in your hand and stand up and pose. But I never got into that because I was too cheap. Because you go to the bar or you go to the club or whatever the case may be, a drink costs like $20 each. Especially in Manhattan, it's like $20 for a Patron shot costs $18 or something like that. You can buy a whole little Patron bottle for $30 at that time. Now a Patron shot costs you $18. You almost hit the guy in his head. So you're doing it the wrong way, man. You're gonna hurt yourself, boy. Anyhow, this construction worker, they're taking away some of this form work. This guy's an older guy. He's about 50-something years old. He's strong like an ox. Anyhow, so, and he might, I don't know him, but he might drink alcohol. And some people, they can abuse alcohol and be totally fine, totally healthy. While me or somebody else drink some alcohol and get messed up. Get addicted or, get alcohol poisoning or end up like Wendy Williams with alcohol-induced dementia. That's terrible, man. So during all that time that she was riffing on people and gossiping on people and all that stuff, she was dealing with her own internal turmoil and abusing alcohol for all these years, which is unfortunate. You never know what people are dealing with internally. You never know what people are dealing with in private that they don't discuss, that they don't want to talk about. I think she had suffered SA in her formative years of being a talk show host and an interviewer and a journalist. I think she suffered some SA. I don't know if that's what prompted her or pushed her towards alcohol. I mean, she had a relatively public and kind of messy divorce, I guess, in the sense that it appeared as if I don't know if it was messy at all, because it seems like, even though she'll talk about other people's relationships, talk about people and divorces and infidelity and all of that, and she'll discuss that about other people. It didn't seem like she handled hers very well, but at the same time that was happening, she was dealing with alcoholism. At the same time that was happening, she was dealing with Graves' disease. She had 2 spells where she passed out on TV, on live TV. I guess her show was live, and then another comedian took over the show. But it's tragic. It's tragic, It's tragic because even it makes me think about Joan Rivers. Like Joan Rivers, she had a lot of plastic surgery and medical procedures, and she had some, she's like a pioneer of plastic surgery, maybe second only to Cher. Like Cher's plastic surgeon, I don't know who he or she is, they're the best. And then maybe secondarily, Joan Rivers' plastic surgeon was relatively good. Whoever Cher's plastic surgeon or surgeons are, man, Cher is about 70-something years old. Maybe 80. No, Cher's in her 80s. I don't know, maybe it's the filters they're using. But anyhow, going back to Wendy Williams, I really just want to talk about the alcohol-induced dementia. If you're using alcohol, if you're abusing anything, listen, they call Alzheimer's, well, Alzheimer's and dementia is 2 different, well, I don't know if they're 2 different things, but also people usually word associate them together. And Alzheimer's, we know, is called the 3rd diabetes, type 3 diabetes. It's not really officially type 3 diabetes. People call it type 3 diabetes. It's induced by sugar. Too much sugar. Not enough omega-3 fatty acids in your brain, not enough fat in your brain. You know, strangely enough, though, our body packs on fat when we consume sugary things. So where's the fat supposed to come from? Anyhow, but you know, you want to get some more omega-3 fatty acids. You want to decrease the sugar, and you want to eliminate the alcohol. Totally eliminate the alcohol, in my opinion. But hey, man, you know, that's all I really got to say. I don't really got nothing else to say. Wendy Williams is buzzing in the news right now, so I'm going to capitalize on that in regards to going viral, or, you know, getting a boost from riding that wave of news. And I might name this one Wendy Williams and Puff Daddy, because right now Puff Daddy, P. Diddy, is going through his own thing. I'm going to just capitalize on that wave, on that marketing wave, which is kind of low vibration, but at least I'm admitting to it, right? So what am I saying? Yeah, so Puff Daddy, Diddy, I don't know. Well, some of the things that have been said about him are apparently true, because he ended up paying for a settlement in order to avoid. He ended up paying for a settlement for damages, right? A civil suit for damages. So he agreed to pay those damages. So if you agree to pay the damages, that's almost an admission of guilt, because he could have took that same $30 million and fought that case for the next, I don't know, 20 years, if he wanted to stretch out that case. But he said, nah, he'd rather pay. So that's an admission of guilt, in my opinion. And or maybe he didn't really care, because he's probably worth a few $100 million. And for a woman that spent so much time with him, relationship-wise, because she was suffering the whole time, apparently. For a woman that was with him so long, giving her $30 million is like not really much of a big deal. You know, he might be like, you know what, she spent a lot of time with me. We've been together a long time, and we broke up, and I didn't even really give her anything. So guess what? I'll give her this $30 million. I'll chalk it up to a business loss for this year. At the same time, I'll take in another $30 million from the company's assets, and then I'll say that I made a net zero income this year. I netted a zero income this year, so that my taxes are working out to be zero this year, which the taxes on that $30 million in revenue would have been 30%, which is $10 million. So really, I only gave her $20 million. I mean, corporate tax or individual. Yeah. I don't know where his residence is. If his residence is in New York, then his federal and his state income tax for his personal income, he just eliminated $10 million in taxable income, in taxes, by reducing it. He changed his taxable income to zero. Anyhow, no, I'm sorry. I just made that up. It works. What I said is real, but you know, the tax rate is really not 30%. It's not really 30. Your tax rate is more like, I don't know, 24%. I don't know. So we put state and federal taxes together, so he can withdraw that money from his corporation to pay himself, pay her out of his pocket. So now his income for the year is zero. It's not, or he can just say, okay, I don't pay myself. I paid her $30 million. My income for this year is negative $30 million. If my income for this year is negative $30 million, I don't have to pay any tax at all. If his net income is zero, he doesn't have to pay any tax at all either. Anyhow, I'm talking about stuff that I don't know concretely, but you know, he's smart enough. He has enough smart people around him. But what I'm saying is that it's unfortunate that he appears to have, if all these allegations are true, he has some kind of addiction that causes him to hurt other people. Now, Wendy Williams, you know, her alcoholism didn't hurt anybody. I mean, her gossip maybe hurt some people emotionally, but it didn't physically hurt them. It hurt them socially, which is enough to, listen, being hurt socially is enough to make you want to hurt yourself. There's people that have deleted themselves from social pressure. So let's not diminish the value of social. Social is very important. You know, as much as we try to dismiss it, and as much as we try to say, oh, don't worry about what people think, or I don't give a beep. That's not true. You do give a beep. You do care. And you do care what people think about you. And if people think the wrong thing about you, you might oof yourself. You might delete yourself. You know? Come on, if the judge think the wrong thing about you, you're gone for life. You know? If the judge think the wrong thing about you, you might go away for life. You know what I mean? So it matters what people think about you. It does matter. Sometimes. But how much are you going to make it bother you, though? How much are you going to spare yourself? How much are you going to save yourself? How much are you going to detach and say, listen, I need to survive either way? Like I'm saying, people in prison are not committing suicide. Are they? Well, thankfully, they take away their shoes laces, they take away their belts, and they don't give them any sheets to sleep with. They don't give them any sheets. I don't think so. They give them a mattress. They don't give them any sheet. You probably got a more likelihood of getting deleted in prison more than you have a probability of self-deleting. So, look at the prisoners. They want to live, man. They want to live. They want to get out. They want to get back to whatever the world is. They have hope. There's people doing life in prison. They have hope that they're going to be free one day. Like, I think that I'm going to get discovered one day and I'm going to become a star and I'm going to be on Bloomberg News and I'm going to make $1 billion and I'm going to build some factories and I'm going to save the world and I'm going to build schools and I'm going to teach the children and I'm just going to save the world. Like it's going to be like that's what I think that I'm going to save the world one day. The prisoners think that they're going to get out of prison one day, even when they got a life sentence. Some of them do. Some of them do, somehow. You got to keep hope alive. You know, so never, you know, even under the social pressures. Wendy Williams, I hope that you get healed. I hope you use your life as a testimony, which she has done, because what she did was she publicly revealed that she is suffering from alcohol-induced dementia. And she shared that. She didn't have to share it. She could have just disappeared into anonymity or whatever. Disappeared. Nobody was checking for her. Nobody was asking for her. She could have just been quiet and nobody heard of her again. But, you know, she publicly released and let everybody know, I'm suffering from alcohol-induced dementia. And I hope people learn from that. Now, you know what is strange, what's messed up? Like I said, when me and my friends, you know, we were partying, it got to a point where it's kind of socially, if you don't have a drink in your hand, what are you doing? Are you even an adult? And people will shame you for not drinking alcohol. Me, I never drank it anyway. Fortunately, I'm stubborn because I've been shamed so much that people shaming me into doing stuff late in my later years didn't work. It made me resent them. It made me realize that you're not my friend if you're shaming me into doing anything. If you're trying to shame me to do something, you're not my friend, really. And I've already been shamed, and everybody that tried to shame me wasn't my friend. So you're just falling into that same category. So fortunately for me, in my formative years, I was given some good afflictions. I was given bullied. All of these things. Beaten. Well, not so much. Mostly by the teachers. So, but anyway, you had Jamie Foxx, I'ma buy you a drink. You had T-Pain singing about drinking. You got, what's his name? Lil Jon talking about shots. Everybody down south pushing alcohol into the music. And in the north, I just can't think of a song right now. They even had Nas. What was it? What did Nas turn down? Nas turned down I think a Heineken ad because he said he didn't want to promote alcohol, but then he took a Hennessy ad. So no, that was Spike Lee. Spike Lee was promoting Hennessy. I think Nas turned down the Heineken ad, but Jay-Z got it. Or something like that. You had Colt 45 and all this other poisons and all this yada yada blah blah blah. And in the music they were promoting alcohol too. So, oh man, I'm so late today. God forgive me. Boss forgive me. Company forgive me. So, you got all these people promoting alcohol. It became a social thing. And then some people, once they got pressured into it socially or programmed into it socially, they got addicted, and now they couldn't stop. They can't stop. And they don't know why they keep doing it. And they don't know why they have that culture. And they can't have their barbecue or their family get together without the alcohol. Oh, that's a cool BMW right there. So, hey man, don't let, I don't know. We can't see ahead. We think that it's all harmless. We think it's harmless when you're 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. You think it's harmless. Later on, you're at 30, 35, 40, and you realize that this stuff is poisoning you, and then you reach 50, and it causes you to have alcohol-induced dementia. Look at that. That's why they say the devil is a liar. He'll tell you that everything is all right. Oh, you can eat that fruit. He said, oh, you will eat the fruit and you will surely not die. And then what was the curse after they ate the fruit? Well, then humans were dying after that. Because before that, they were going to live forever. Anyhow, thanks for listening.